Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Misadventures of Laura Silver. Before we begin, I kind of want to touch a few things. Well, I had a thought basically about Cooper and Laura. Laura kind of comes across as an autistic child that's incredibly intelligent, and it's mentioned that she was in an orphanage. Kind of mentioned. She cut herself off. I get the feeling that she was picked up by the, the head of the bureau. And Cooper is probably supposed to take care of Laura specifically. Kind of like Natalie was for Monk. He's there for Laura, not really as an investigator in his own right. So maybe that's why he's a terrible detective. Anyway, I needed to get that off my chest because it really bothered me what just a completely terrible officer he was when it came to investigating Zivin's, I can remember his first name but I can't remember his last name, Zivin's dead body. I'll need to ask Chalupnik to open this door. I'm gonna have to get back into the groove of saying their names again. I give up on the water tank for now and go to the backyard. I need to find that pot. There's something suspicious about how it's disappeared. Here's our pot. Shattered, just like me. That's kind of pessimistic. I crouch to take a closer look. Though, even if this confirms that the pot certainly did fall down, there's nothing out of the ordinary. Only a heavy storm would have caused this pot to fall down, and there wasn't one last night. Interesting. I should see if there's any clues in the backyard. Wait. Is that a child on the ground? That isn't a comfortable place to sit. Is he sleeping? That's a he. There's no way he jumped down from Skoda's balcony to here after killing him, right? As far as I remember, the Vodnik can't shapeshift, so at least it eliminates the possibility of him being the Vodnik. I thought whether or not he could shapeshift was a question mark. Or maybe it wasn't. I won't assume little children are culprits, as long as they don't behave suspiciously. Laura considers everyone suspicious, so I don't know how far that's gonna get this child. I crouch next to the child. Hey. No reply. He's well dressed. Looks like he's from a rich family. Hey. No response. I hold his shoulder and shake him. He can't be dead, right? Did Vodnik kill a child too? I close my hand over his nose and mouth. I can't sense any breathing. He opens his eyes. What are you doing? Why are you here? You answer my question first. I was checking if you were alive. But he wasn't breathing. Well, as you can see, if a person opens their eyes, it's sort of obvious that they are alive. Yes. Yes? Is that it? Why are you here? First, you must ask who I am. Commoner, then we can talk. Commoner? Who are you? I'm Uri von Geldern. I would say that it's nice to meet you, but you haven't told me your name yet. I'm Laura Silver. That's cool. What is? Your name. It is a cool name. I bet my hair color was being checked out. You also have golden hair, don't you? Like your surname. He stops and looks down. Am I wrong? It isn't gold, he mutters. This is just another tone of yellow. That's not something to be down about, is it? Anyway, I'm going to call you Silver. Sure, I'll be calling you Uri if that's okay with you. Even though being called as casually as that is a bit infuriating, I guess being friends with an inferior or wouldn't hurt my pride. I sigh. Why aren't you getting up, Uri? None of your business, Silver. A peasant like you should know when to leave their king alone. Isn't your family worried about you? He stares down again. I guess he's like me. Get up, Uri. You can get some rest in the hotel. I already like Uri better than that other snot-nosed brat, to be honest, and I think Laura agrees with me. I'm not a child. What are you? The King of Hanover. Hanover? Then what are you doing in Czechoslovakia? I hear sounds coming from the right. Is there something in the bushes? Silver, pick me up! Huh? Hurry up! It's coming! What? I'll explain later. Just get out of here! I hear another rustle. I guess I should pick up the kid and rush inside. Am I curious about what is there? Of course I am. But I can't investigate now, not when there's a kid with me. I'm a responsible adult. Will you hurry up? I pick Uri up and start jogging back to the hotel. Are you alright, Uri? Yes. Did that thing hurt you? Go faster, Silver! Do I look like a horse to you? Even though Uri had multiple layers of clothing on him, his wrists were freezing. How long has he been sitting out there? I'll have to ask you a lot of questions. Okay. Everyone is gathered in the lobby except for Mr. Chalupnik. I see Willem is sitting on a couch staring at the void. Mr. Chalupnik didn't see anyone entering the hotel last night. So that leaves Miss Blanca, Mr. Willem, Mr. Chalupnik, Miss Silva, and myself. This means we have 5 suspects. Make that 6. Excuse me? Oh, this is a smart kid. The child in my arms starts to struggle and panic. What kind of treacherous ambush is this? I'm joking, Uri. Calm down. I put Uri on the ground. He bounces himself on his feet. He looks like he's having a hard time doing that, still grasping onto my arm. Is there a problem with his legs? You're not funny. Miss Silva, who is that child? I'm Uri von Geldern. I thought you weren't a child. I found him sleeping in the backyard. I wasn't sleeping. I was exploring. Right. What an adorable young boy. I might be cute, but I'm pretty dangerous. Oh my. Where's Mr. Chalupnik? He told us that he would like to spend some time with Pavla before coming down here. I see. So while we're waiting for Mr. Chalupnik to come, I crouch down to look Uri in the eye. Save. Do I only get one choice? Because if that's the case, like, asking him if he's hurt would be proper, but I want to know what he's running away from him. Who's following you, Uri? No one important. Was he being followed by someone, Miss Silva? I heard a rustling in the bushes. I presume he was. Uri isn't making eye contact with me. What a stubborn child. Oh, I do get to ask the other questions. Okay, good. Are you hurt? Did you get hurt somewhere? Not a scratch. What happened to your legs? Can you walk? I can walk. I'm not in the mood for it yet. Uri, look. I'm looking. If you don't cooperate, we can't help you. I don't want your help. You mentioned that you were a king. I'm the King of Hanover. Uri von Geldern. I hear Miss Vrebelova giggle. And what is the King of Hanover doing here? A commoner like you shouldn't meddle in royal business, Silva. Know your place. What kind of business are you dealing with here, Your Majesty? None of your business, peasant. Silver's actually being really good with this kid. Like, a lot better than she was with the other one. Young lad, where is your home? What did you say? I simply asked where... I'm not some young lad. Cooper gasps. Also, I already stated that I'm from Hanover. How did you come here? By myself. Huh? I'm capable of doing things like that. I'd rather solve a murder case while juggling knives than deal with a child right now. I stand up. Cooper, do you know who the current King of Hanover? Hanover doesn't have a king. What? What's wrong, Miss Silva? What happened to the Kingdom of Hanover? It is currently a part of the Germans, as far as I know. Interesting. It looks like I'll have to do some reading on history. Anyway, where is Mr. Chalupnik? We shouldn't lose any time. Before that, Miss Silva. Yes, Miss Vrebelova? Are you aware that Mr. Chalupnik doesn't believe in the supernatural? I am. So, without doubt, he thinks that someone in this hotel has done it. What did you say? I can see that, yes. Do you also think it's one of us, Miss Silver? I don't know yet. We have to hold a meeting. We'll also have to look at the Vodnik's toy shop. We shouldn't jump to conclusions. Uri squeezes my arm. Oh, he looks a little wide-eyed, huh? I agree, but... Miss Silva, we all know the water was cut off. The fact that the bathtub was full is scaring me. The killer might have opened the valves back again, then closed them after killing Skoda, but... What happened here, Silva? Uri, shush. I just want to know what happened. If you tell us what's been following you, we will. He doesn't reply. Silva, what's the explanation of this? We were waiting for you, Mr. Chalupnik. I can see that. Who is this child? I found him in the backyard. Where is his family? I think he doesn't have one. He might have run away. We must take him back to his home, Silva. What were you thinking when you brought him here? He was running away from something, Mr. Chalupnik. I couldn't leave him defenseless against possible danger. He was running away from what? He hasn't told us yet. And you just picked him up and ran. Circumstances demanded so. We can take care of that after the police arrives. It will be safer for him that way. All right. I actually like Chalupnik, by the way. I'm not sure if I said that before, but I do. Are you talking about me? This man wants to know who you are. I'm Uri von Geldern, the King of Hanover. Chalupnik reaches his hand out for a handshake. Nice to meet you, fellow king. I'm also the king of this area, Jindrik Chalupnik. Uri shakes his hand. Aww. Nice to meet you too. I hope that our countries will be on peaceful terms in the future. Chalupnik nods. Aww. However, I see that you're wearing my daughter's gloves, Your Royal Highness. I thought so. What? Uri squeezes my arm harder. I don't want a war to start for a reason like this, but the princess might not be as understanding as I am. Chalupnik looks at me. Silver, you said that you would do your best to deliver my daughter's gloves back to her, yes? Is it the right time for this? We were just about to start the meeting. Mr. Chalupnik stares at me. I don't think it would be appropriate for a child to be present during this meeting. He can go to Pavla's room, but not when he's wearing her gloves. These are my gloves! I want to start the meeting as soon as possible. I crouch down again. Uri, let me take a look at your hands. No! Cooper, show me your sketch. Right away, Miss Silver. Cooper opens his notebook after a brief pause. It's identical. Look. So, she might just have a similar pair. These are my gloves, Silver. You can't blame me for something I haven't done. It will be a problem for us if Pavlos thinks Yuri's the thief. After all, Chalupnik's beastly daughter will never forgive him. Good description. Be honest with me, Yuri. He pouts. So? Silver, I want to talk about this with you in private. I can't handle being in the same room with so many peasants. You can whisper it in my ear. Won't they hear? Not if you speak softly. He bent down. Silver. Yes? Would you help me? How? I'm the one who took them, but I can't give the gloves back. Why? Tell me why. Why is that, Yuri? It's about the vodnik you mentioned. Looks like everyone I meet has something going on with the vodnik. I wonder if he lives nearby. I can't tell the details just yet. He looks out of the window at the bushes where I met him. Please let me keep the gloves, Silver. If I do that, will you tell me what you know? He nods. And when exactly will you tell me? I'll... He raises his voice. You all mentioned the meeting. It must be important. I'll wait until it ends. Looks like he's trying to buy some time. As long as he tells me where the vodnik lives, it's fine by me. I stand up. Mr. Chalupnik, please tell Pavla that I'll buy her another pair of gloves. She'll make a fuss over it. You better buy her better ones now, Silva. I nod, appreciating the fact that he doesn't make this a huge deal. He's a good guy. Do we start the meeting now? Chalupnik sighs. Young king, I can't have you listen to our talks. I'm 200 years old. You're like a baby to me. Uri drops himself on the couch. I know everything the world has to offer. I'm more accustomed to death than any of you. He smiles. I won't budge. Chalupnik takes the boy in his arms. Yep. What are you doing? Taking you to Pavla. You'll play with her until our job is finished. No, you can't do that. I'll return and listen to you. Then I'll take you back to Pavla's room until you learn to sit still. Maybe you'll return her the gloves, too. These are my gloves! Silva, come here and save me! I watch as he is taken upstairs. What did he tell you, Miss Silva? The kid knows something. How? The one following him might have been the vodnik. He knows where he is. Did he tell you anything? I shake my head. These are just my assumptions. He might have been trying to deceive me too. I don't know just yet. I don't think a child his age is that prone to lying. Children lie all the time. You're an idiot, Miss Silva. He's different. I can sense it. He might be dead too. He seemed like a regular child to me. It's true that he is a smart one, though. What kind of differences are you talking about? I don't know. I see Mr. Chalupnik walking down the stairs. We can start the meeting, finally. Mr. Chalupnik, did you make sure the children won't be interrupting the meeting? Skoda's room is already locked. Other than that, I don't think they will come downstairs. It seemed like they were getting along. Really? I doubt it, though. I'm sure Yuri won't be coming downstairs. He has a problem with walking. He won't be using the stairs with ease. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I sigh. So can we start the meeting? Yes, Miss Silva. I cough a few times to get everyone's attention. I believe everyone here knows why we are having this meeting. Most likely one of us is the culprit. I take a deep breath. I believe Skoda was drowned. However, he also has a nose injury, which could mean that he might have gotten punched in the face before he was drowned. He doesn't have any other visible injuries. I know that the murder happened recently, between 2 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. I would actually say even sooner than that. Mr. Lupnik, what were you doing at 2 a.m.? 2 a.m. is way too early. It's definitely later than that. And by later, I mean it was earlier this morning. No, what? You know what I mean. It wasn't like last night. It was after the sun came up, basically. Well, he would say that he was at the counter. So let's go with Miss Rebeluva. I was in my room, sleeping. When was the last time you saw Mr. Skoda? Yesterday afternoon. What was he doing when you saw him? I don't know. I saw him in the lobby and we exchanged greetings. Oh, so I definitely can question all of these. Can you tell me what you did right after you woke up? I did my hair and got dressed. I wanted to wash my face, but there was no water. I thought there was a problem with the tap of my sink. When I left my room to report this to Mr. Lupnik, Willem called me to talk with you. So you had just gotten up. When did you wake up? My schedule is kind of when the hotel is off season. I wake up at 8 a.m. I see. What is your room number, Miss Rubelova? I'm sleeping in one of the rooms on the ground floor, Miss Silva. I believe they aren't numbered. What do you think about this cave, Miss Rebeluva? I know everyone in the hotel, Miss Silva, and I know you are a nice person too. That's very presumptuous of her. What do you mean? You know what I am trying to say, Miss Silva? She looks meaningfully at my pocket. I see the notebook is sticking out, so she thinks that Vodnik did it. I know the murder happened recently, between 2 a.m. and 9:30 a.m., right? Mr. Chalupnik, what were you doing at 2 a.m.? I was at the reception desk the whole night. Did you notice anything suspicious? Nothing concerning what happened last night, but I had to lock the boiler room's door. The boiler room? The water must have started flowing for a brief period in the night, and the pipes couldn't handle the pressure. It is not something that should concern you. It happens frequently in winter. Last year, the lobby flooded several times because of it. It's a good thing we installed the metal door, at least it keeps the water inside. When was the last time you saw Skoda? Last night, when he came to greet you both. What is your room number, Mr. Chalupnik? I have my own room on the ground floor, so he stays near the entrance. Makes sense. What do you think of the case? I know that neither Rubeluva nor Willem are the kind of people to commit murder. Cooper looks like a nice fellow, too. Are you suspicious of me? Chalupnik shrugs. I won't say a thing before we find any evidence. Mr. Chalupnik, I'm sure Miss Silva didn't do it. This guy isn't helping. You need to STFU. Why? Did you two spend the night together? No. No? Then you can't be sure, Cooper. You should choose who to trust wisely. I know that the murder happened recently, between 2 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. You're gonna ask Willem now? I called Willem's name, but it looks like he didn't hear me. Miss Rubeluva pops in between us. Miss Silver, I think it's obvious that Willem didn't do it. Sending him to his room without making him a part of this investigation would be better. Miss Rubeluva, did you murder Zivin Skoda? Oh no, how could I? Do you think Mr. Chalupnik did it? No. Do you think me or Cooper did it? I think you are both kind people. Kindness does not bring innocent with it. Yeah. I also assume you aren't blaming Pavla or Uri. Of course not. I whisper into her ear. I also think the Vodnik is the culprit. However, we have to evaluate the facts first. I have to check that everyone's accounts are consistent. I just thought we should leave Willem out of this. I can see why you'd want that, Miss Rubeluva, but there's a chance that he is the murderer. I don't want to ignore that. She nods. I understand, Miss Silva. She steps back, observing us from a distance. Willem. What is it? Willem, what were you doing at 2 a.m. this morning? 2 a.m.? I'm pretty sure I was asleep. Can you tell me what you did right after you woke up? I went downstairs and had a talk with Mr. Chalupnik before going to the dining hall. When do you wake up in the mornings? 7 a.m. I have to serve breakfast at 8:30 a.m. When the hotel isn't off season, I wake up at 6 a.m. So you were in your room between 2 and 7? Yes. Mr. Chalupnik, can you confirm that you've talked with Mr. Willem this morning? I can. We talked about the weather and how we always talk about the weather every morning. Willem smiles. It feels so distant now, like it happened months ago. When was the last time you saw Zivin Skoda? He stays silent. Do you mean his corpse or alive? Yesterday afternoon. What was he doing when you saw him? Taking a stroll in the hotel. Yeah, that's a good question. Did he do that often? Almost every day. He sounds like he had cabin fever. It looks like Zivin did nothing else except from occupying space in this hotel. What do you think about the case? I'm not the person you need to ask. Oh. Pardon me? I don't want to blame the guest, but I'm almost sure that it was you. And why is that? Isn't it obvious? The man dies the night you come here. He's got a point. I don't have an alibi either. I'm the perfect suspect. I also know that you're hiding your real job from us. One would think that you would reveal it to get rid of suspicion. One would also think that being a detective doesn't get rid of any suspicion. He grimaces. Seems like my snark isn't appreciated. Too bad. So tell me how I did it. You may have somehow stolen my keys, or picked his lock, or slipped in from the balcony. The balcony? The lock was broken, remember? What was I thinking? I never checked the balcony door. Skoda would have requested a different room if he had noticed the lock of the balcony door was broken. Could it be that the culprit broke it last night? When was the lock broken? I'm not sure. I never thought of checking while Zivin was staying there. I see. Tell me more about my balcony break-in. You got in from the balcony, and Zivin was taking a shower at that time, so You entered his bathroom and punched him in the face. Though it would explain what happened to his nose. Wait. Did I talk about his broken nose in this meeting? I'm not sure I mentioned it here. Which makes this man very suspicious right now. The water was cut off, so he couldn't have been showering. I guess. And then? Do you think Zivin died from a broken nose? I don't know. Did you strangle him? I may have drowned him too. We found him in the tub. It's sort of obvious. What sort of game is this, Silver? You have a point. Excuse me? You see, I hadn't considered the balcony as an entrance to his room. You're an extraordinary detective, I must say. Entering from the balcony, lockpicking, stealing Willem's keys. Huh? You said that I could have taken your keys. You have Skoda's room keys? Yeah, we already know that. I gave them to you when you were about to shoot his door, though. It happened a few minutes ago, Silver. Right. You're the only one who has his spare keys. Right? Yes. At least I was supposed to be the only one. That's good to know. Now you think I'm the culprit? No. At least, not yet. What do you mean? It's still a bit too early to be pointing fingers. He huffs. I need to ask Cooper what he thinks about all of this. Cooper. Yes, Miss Silva? What do you think? Oh, I don't know. I don't think that Mr. Willem is in a healthy state of mind right now. Also, I'm wondering about what Mr. Chalupnik will say about... I wasn't asking about the well-being of the hotel folk. Who do you think killed Skoda, you idiot? I assume it's most likely the Vodnik, Miss Silva. How? He may have drowned Skoda in the tub. She doesn't think it was the Vodnik? To be honest, I don't think it was the Vodnik either. I think it was the maid. I'm gonna go with this. You have a point, but I don't think the culprit is the Vodnik. It's quite obvious that Skoda was drowned, though. Then that makes this culprit one of us. Can we talk about our clues, Miss Silva? I think we can reach somewhere with them. Let me save. I should have saved before I chose that last option. Why wouldn't I? I want to actually hear what he has to say and see if he's actually useful. Sure, let's line them up. I'll go first. The full tub, the broken lock with the balcony door, the dent on the bathroom door. Oh, also Skoda's broken nose. The wet trench coat. I guess that's all of them, Miss Silva. What would you want to start with? The full tub. Mr. Skoda was drowned in the full tub. You closed the valves yesterday and we checked it. That means someone must have entered the boiler room to open the valves back again. You might have been followed. Skoda had said that the walls were thin. People might have heard us. Mr. Chalupnik's ears aren't all that well, but he might have seen you entering the boiler room. I made sure I was in the blind spot, Miss Silva. He is surprisingly sneaky considering his orange attire. He's like a regular Naruto, right? Okay then. The culprit killed Skoda in his tub, drowned him. However, the water was still off, Miss Silva. Then we can assume that the killer went back to the boiler room and smashed some of the pipes. Because, well, the boiler room is underwater. But if the culprit was to smash the pipes like you said, they would be all wet. That's right. Imagining Chalupnik destroying the pipes is unexpectedly fitting, and also quite amusing. Let's talk about other clues. What about Skoda's broken nose? I didn't partake in the examination of the corpse, so I can't offer any insight on this, Miss Silva. His nose was broken, that's all. What do you think about it? Was the damage inflicted by the culprit? It's a possibility. He might have hit his nose on a solid surface while he was struggling against the culprit too. The door! He must have hit his nose on the door! See, that's what I think. But since Cooper said it, I might be wrong. It's true that there was a huge dent on the door. Good job, Cooper. Oh, well, if Laura agrees. To have his head smashed against a door so hard that it creates a dent and leaves with only a broken nose. You must have had quite a sturdy head, Skoda. Heh. The doors of the bathroom open outwards, too. So the killer must have been in the bathroom before Skoda was. So, she's implying that the culprit was in the bathroom and opened the door as Skoda was coming in? He just smashed the door against Skoda's nose by opening the door. How could that happen? It does sound a bit off, Miss Silva. Let's say the killer entered the room. How would they enter the bathroom? It sounds like they entered the room through the bathroom, which means maybe there's like a vent or something in the bathroom, unless it really was the water monster thing. If the killer entered the room, Mr. Skoda would be awakened. Good point. After seeing Skoda awake, they might have panicked and entered the bathroom. Skoda, now awake, would try to coerce the culprit out of the bathroom. The culprit then might have used the outward opening door to hurt him. So, they broke Skoda's nose with the door. Quite nice. Shall we think of other clues, Miss Silva? Let's talk about the balcony door. Mr. Skoda hasn't written anything about it in his journal. If he was an avid smoker, that means he would already have noticed the issue. If he noticed the issue, he would immediately tell Mr. Chalupnik to get it fixed, or he would want to get his room changed. That means the lock must have been broken very recently. Why do you think, Miss Silva? The killer might have entered from the balcony, or got out. The balcony door only locks from the inside. The culprit might have easily unlocked the balcony door to leave. There's no need to break it. Miss Silva, you were staying right next to Mr. Skoda. Did you hear anything? Wait, I did! She woke up after hearing like a strange noise. Actually, this morning, the flower pot in my balcony fell down. I woke up by the sound of it. I checked the balcony, and there was no one to be found. What would the culprit do in your balcony, Miss Silva? Maybe he was supposed to be the victim? No, that can't be. My balcony was simply a step to reach Skoda's room. The killer got out of the room next to me. They jumped to my room, and then to Skoda's afterwards. This makes sense. If Mr. Willem was about to obtain the spare keys for Mrs. Skoda's room, it would be possible for them to get the room 101's key too. Room 101's key would be downstairs, though, with Mr. Volupnik. Again, I can't remember the name. Exactly. When did you wake up, Miss Silva? It was 8:30. It was 8:30 when I heard the noise coming from the balcony. We went downstairs to meet with Mr. Chalupnik around 8:40. Then Mr. Vellum and Miss Vrubelufa arrived around 9. Then it's more likely that the culprit was getting out when they dropped my pot. However, is it all right to assume that? The pot might have fallen because of the wind, too. It can't be, Miss Silva. They were quite heavy. And it wasn't windy last night. I see. This means the culprit used the balcony of room 101, then jumped to yours. After that, they jumped to Skoda's balcony. They broke the lock and entered the room. After killing Skoda, they used the same route to return. But of course, they dropped my pot this morning. They also might have entered from Skoda's door. The locks of the balcony door could easily be opened from inside. There's no need for them to break the balcony's lock if they were going to enter from the door. I see. So can we assume Mr. Willem isn't a suspect? Why? Is it because he has the spare keys? Yes, Miss Silva. Wouldn't he enter from the door if he had them in the first place? Maybe his aim was to frame another hotel worker for the murder, so he broke the lock of the balcony door to make us believe someone else entered the room. Then why would he leave the door from the balcony? He would use the regular door. That's true. So Mr. Willem can't be the culprit. That would leave us with Mr. Chalupnik and Miss Robalova then. Why aren't you counting Yuri or Pavla? They are kids. Good thinking. They have short legs. They have short legs that they can't perform balcony hopping. You know what? Yeah. I didn't mean it like that, but I think that's a more logical approach, Miss Silver. Yeah. I agree with you, Silver. And there's still the Vodnik possibility, Cooper. Right. And last but not least, we have the wet trench coat. While they were drowning Skoda, the culprit wore his trench coat in order to not get wet. Oh, so that's her explanation. I was like, what the hell is up with the wet trench coat? That would explain the whole issue about the wet trench coat. Then the culprit can't be Mr. Chalupnik. He's too big. Yes, he's too big to wear it. So it's Bruvalova. Or the Vodnik. What I can't understand is, if Bruvalova wanted to kill Skoda, why wouldn't she pick an easier route? Why the balconies? Why the tub? Maybe she was trying to frame the Vodnik. After all, it looks like the Vodnik did it at first glance. Flowed through the pipes to get rid of the person who was investigating him. Mr. Skoda's nose might just be an accident in the culprit's plan. Do you disagree, Miss Silva? It sounds like the best option available, Cooper. Well done. I'm honored. However, I haven't got a single idea of why she decided to frame the Vodnik. Might be something about their past. Though the culprit still might not be Verbalova. Two people at the hotel might have plotted together. We know that Mr. Willem isn't one of them, because if so, they would enter from the door. And if Mr. Chalupnik and Miss Verbalova were the ones to kill Mr. Skoda, the whole incident about the bathroom door wouldn't have happened. We can agree on the fact that Mr. Chalupnik has enough strength to pin Mr. Skoda down. There would be no need for him to enter the bathroom. Right. So, it's either Miss Verbalova or the Vodnik. What are we going to do now, Miss Silva? I'll talk with Miss Verbalova. I'll try to make her talk into admitting that... Wait, he murdered Skoda? I mean, she, right? I'll join you, Miss Silva. You can go and wait with Yuri until I come join you. I can't do that. If Verbalova is the killer and she tries to harm you, I have a gun, Cooper. I can win against her. But if something happens... In that case, take Yuri and go find the Vodnik. You can complete our mission on your own. Tell Karat to give you my list, alright? I can't do that, Miss Silva. You can. I can't tell him that the real reason I don't want him to stay here is that I may use my gun to threaten Verbalova. It wouldn't be something Cooper would approve of. It'd be the best for me, Cooper. Try to understand me. He sighs. All right, Miss Silva. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you, Cooper. I wait until he's out of sight. What is this? Miss Rubalova, may I talk to you in private? Save. Of course, Miss Silva. What has 4 letters? What are you doing, Silver? Why are you asking this all of a sudden, Miss Silver? Sometimes has 9 letters. I don't understand. Is this a question? How is it related to anything happening, Miss Silver? But never has 5 letters. I don't know. Always has 6 letters. She looks baffled. I was able to confuse her, but now she's more vulnerable to my questions. I shouldn't give her an option to say no. You murdered Skoda. You ruthless snake. I didn't do it, Miss Silva. That was a little weird. I didn't understand the format of that. I pull out my gun. Silver, I know you are the culprit. Why do you have a gun? Did you do it, Rubalova? Answer me. I didn't. It's the vodnik who killed Skoda. Tell the truth. What are you doing, Silva? Put the gun down. Miss Silva, we can talk about this. I won't put this gun down until Rubel admits I'm not the one. Are you out? Are you thick, Silva? The woman's been saying the same thing since the beginning. I aim my gun at Willem. Silva, calm down. You are being disrespectful to Skoda. His body is still upstairs and rotting. What does that have to do with anything? Oh, really? You don't say, Mr. Chalupnik. What would I do if you weren't here to state the obvious? I feel a blow on my head. Ah, Cooper, what the fuck? Oh, shit! I thought it was Cooper that hit me. I fall down and open my eyes to the vision of Rubalova holding a chair up. Did she... Miss Silva, I apologize, but I can't have you disrupt the peace in this hotel. Did she hit me with that chair? Rubalova, when I get up, I'll make you regret you were born. Unbelievable! I look at my hand. Where's my gun? Oh, there you are. I reach for my gun. Blanca, hit her again! I open my eyes. I don't have my gun on my hands. They're cuffed. When did they persuade Cooper into joining them? Damn it. I kick the bed. The police should be here any second now, and I'm sure that snake called Willem will make them believe I'm the culprit. They won't lock me up without proof, right? I was supposed to take care of the vodnik. Zivin's death wasn't even within the range of my job description. I should find a way to run away from here and find the vodnik. Yes, that sounds about right. I'll think about the details on the road. I stand up, reaching for the balcony door. I kick the door. The lock is broken. Okay, now you just have to jump. It shouldn't be that hard. You're only jumping from the 2nd floor after all. I climb the railings of the balcony and jump. Oops. I guess I shouldn't have been so aggressive when asking her. But how did she manage to die from a fall of just 2 stories? It's insane how fragile human bodies are. I'm sure you can find a solution to this, right? You know you have to. I'm so glad I saved before I got into that. Let's see. Load. Maid interrogation. Miss Rubalova, may I talk to you in private? Okay, Miss Silver. I'm gonna confuse her first. Yep. Okay. Now I'll ask her gently. Are you the one who killed Skoda? She looks confused. What do you mean, Miss Silva? You should confess while you still have the chance. How could someone like me commit such a crime? Because my feeling when they were talking about accomplices was that she was working with the Vodnik. She was after all his maid at one point. Vodnik must have given you tips. You worked with him before. He could have shown you how to drown the man. I worked with that person before he became a Vodnik. Then I ran away. I don't want to be associated with that man anymore. Yeah. That's a good question. Then how can you know that he became a Vodnik? I grew up listening to stories of the Vodnik. When I saw him after he changed, I knew immediately that the creature in front of me was a Vodnik. Was this the reason you ran away? Yes. I actually want to ask precisely why she ran away. Why did you run away? When I was working as a maid in a shop, he went missing for several days. When he returned, he wasn't human anymore. You just said you ran away before he became a Vodnik. Can you describe how the Vodnik looked like? He was demon-like, a wild sea beast, green skin and fish-like eyes. That correlates with the information I have. Should I confuse her again? Gotta save. What has 4 letters? Why are you asking me this all of a sudden? Sometimes it's 9 letters. I don't understand. It's just a question. How's this related to anything happening, Miss Silver? But never has 5 letters. I don't know. It always has 6 letters, but she looks baffled. I was before confused her. Now she's more vulnerable to my questions. Did he attack you? Did he try to attack you? She looks disturbed while answering the question. Yes. How? He tried to strangle me. So he didn't try to drown you? We were in his toy shop. He probably needs a large body of water to do that. Huh. I guess he doesn't have to drown his victims. This is a little sus. Then he could have punched Skoda. He may be a supernatural being, but he still has arms. It would be normal for him to do that. Arms? Was he armed? I meant hands. Oh. Okay, no arms. Yeah, that would have been a bit weird. You know, this morning, I heard a noise coming from the outside.
This morning? When?
Around 8:30. It came from my balcony. She flinches.
Oh.
I'm staying at room 102. I heard everything.
Do you mean that the Vodnik might have entered from the balcony?
I'm gonna save. Why are you denying that you were the one I heard?
Of course I'm denying it, Miss Silva. I'm not the one who killed Mrs. Skoda.
Oh shit. Did I do it wrong? Yep. Okay. Yep. Load? Oh no, that's not. Load. Continue. That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh no. Was that wrong too? Okay, good.
I think so too, Miss Silva. But how should we explain this to the others?
Mr. Chalupnik. I raised my voice, hoping that it would reach Mr. Chalupnik. Yes, Silva? Any leads? I have to explain something to you. Have you heard of the Vodnik? He raises an eyebrow. Does that have anything to do with the situation? Me and Cooper are preparing an informative sequence about the myth in our documentary. Why don't you just tell him you're a detective? You came here to write about the Vodnik? Exactly. Do directors make films about ambiguous supernatural creatures, Silva? Yeah, sure, sometimes. They do in England. The documentary you two are filming won't be a reliable source of information, it seems. That's debatable. Anyway, we think that a Vodnik might have killed Skoda, Mr. Chalupnik. He looks baffled. And I think that we should call the cops here, Silva. Didn't you already? Mr. Chalupnik, let me explain. Yes. We have reached reports on Vodnik being here. We think that Skoda was targeted because he was also investigating the myth. You're disrespecting his death. Skoda wasn't a man who believed in some fairy tales. I can show you the text Skoda wrote about the Vodnik if you still think that it's a myth. It doesn't make any sense, Silva. How so? Isn't it obvious? Why would a mythical creature like the Vodnik punch Steven before killing him? He might have hit his nose on the wall, or the tub, while trying to fight back. It seems to be more like you're the one who killed him. What? I have no proof on this, but I think you're the one who did it, and thus blaming the Vodnik on it. I have no actual talent in conjuring water and filling tubs with it, Willem.
Willem, Mr. Chalupnik!
Willem turns his head to Vrabaluva's way.
I know the Vodnik. I know that he's a man who is messed up in the head. He might have been the one who caused this.
Vrabaluva, I never knew you were superstitious.
I'm not superstitious, Mr. Chalupnik. I worked as his maid for years before he became a Vodnik.
So, that was a spooky fellow you mentioned once. What was his name? Emil?
Emil Cladivo, yes. How come I've never heard you talking about him? I tend to avoid the subject.
Huh. Can you inform me about whom you are talking?
Of course, Miss Silva.
Will you tell her the story you told me? Vrabaluva nods. Okay. I think I'm going to end this here and continue next time. Ta-ta for now.